Greetings car fanatics, today I'm going to be showing you how to touch up your brake calipers. You could also use this technique for wheels. So I have this rock chip. I'm going to be using a simple 4-step process. So the first step is to get the surface ready for painting. I'm going to use this Duplicolor touch-up pen. It has an abrasive tip, so I can use this to just knock off any corrosion or anything like that off the surface so I can prepare it for painting. I'm also using some alcohol on a towel to clean the brake surface area before we add some primer. In addition to prepping the area I'm going to paint, I'm also prepping the paint just around it so I can create a smooth transition from the original paint to the metal surface. This is going to help the touch-up job blend in a little bit better. Alright, we're almost ready to move on to the second step, but before we do that, you want to take some rubbing alcohol and clean off the area. This will ensure the primer we're going to put on next is going to bond to the brake caliper properly. Alright, now we're ready to apply VHT high temperature primer. I sprayed a little bit into the can's lid, and I'm using a pick to dab in drops of the VHT primer onto the brake caliper. You want to apply small drops of the primer to the brake caliper. You don't want to brush it at all. What you actually want to do is you want to let the primer settle naturally, and this is going to create more of a smooth finish and give you a better result. Once you're done applying the primer, give it at least 30 minutes so it can properly cure before you apply the paint. Alright, now it's time to move on to step 3. We're going to apply paint to make the blemish disappear. I'm using red high temperature paint, and I'm using the same method where I sprayed some paint into the cap, and I'm using a pick to apply small drops of red paint, and then I'm just going to let this dry naturally for 30 minutes before moving on to our final step. Alright, so I've let the paint dry and it's time for the final step. We want to apply some clear coat to protect the finish and make this look really nice. So luckily my Duplicolor touch-up pen also has clear coat on one end, so I'm just using that to brush it on. You don't need a ton, just brush it on and it's going to apply a protective finish and help it match the sheen of the brake caliper. Alright, so now we're all done. Take a look at that. If you go up close, you can see that the texture is just a little bit off, but the color looks really good. And from about a foot away, you can't even notice that the brake caliper has been touched up. Well, there you have it, car fanatics. If you have brake calipers or even your wheels and you need to touch them up, you can use this method and it's going to give you a really nice result that's going to last a long time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave any questions or comments below.